It's not bad. He was bringing up the Sand King Caustic Finale, which used to have wonderful interactions against PL, and you would basically just one-shot the poor man. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be as easy for them this game. We'll see, though. Game number 1 between AG. They've yet to find themselves a win, while TNC sit at 2-2 thus far here in the group stage of the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 online. We'll see how this one is going to get going for them as we get underway with game number 1. Best of 2s here in our round robins. As the GLHFs all around. Nice. They're giving Whitemon GLHF, and this is actually going to be really exciting for me personally, just because we finally see Whitemon on a different hero. 22 July. Squad. I don't know what this is all in reference to. UK, maybe quite a few in-jokes here. And that's going to be beyond me and my language comprehension, unfortunately. Smoked up as 4, though. AG, they tend to like to go for these early aggressive plays. So they might be able to catch them out. But they do have the Riki Maru just chilling here. Might be actually able to bait them to go a little bit too far forward aggressively. But we have Whitemon in a fantastic position here to break the smoke on the high ground. And there we go. Smoke's going to break now. They know what's going on. Arrow, though. Be careful for this. Come at the ready for Limb. Out it comes. It's a very long route, though. And that's going to be a kill. 5 heroes committing here for this one. Fire Spirits, though, going to make it a little bit more difficult as KV at least able to get off of Slither and Crutch. But he will eventually fall. No match for the 5 heroes brought by AG.
Well, that was a good first blood. That's what you're supposed to be using the Marana for, after all. You know, try to get that early kill. I think Army Genius has tried to do this every single game. When they do the smoke gank.
Yeah.
Oh, another one. That's pretty good.
That's value.
Yeah, with Burstrike as well, and the Bound Rune to boot. That is fantastic.
Yep, can't go much better there. It is going to go to UK, which is whatever. It's not first blood, so it doesn't really matter. You really only want that first blood bonus onto a core, which I believe they did achieve. Indeed, DB starting off with that one. So it's a fantastic start here for AG, especially because they can continue playing really, really aggressive. They've done well to get, I actually think, not both offlaners. They got one in each lane, so if they can actually net themselves a kill anywhere else onto either of these heroes that have already died with TPs on cooldown, it's a massive win for them here. But I don't think we're going to be seeing that as KP playing very, very defensively already. He actually he died so early, he didn't even need to TP. That's incredible.
2-0 for HE to start. That's a really good way to get your lanes going. And the only concern, though, is that this mid lane, to me, I mean, they kind of sacked it right when they put the Magnus here. I'm not really sure how much Magnus can get from the mid lane. When you play this hero in the mid lane, the idea is partially to just like snowball and play a bit of a tempo controller plus a secondary carry. But against a Bat Rider, I don't know how effective this can be. Right now, of course, level 1, Magnus has the advantage. But once Armel hits at level 2, things are going to change a bit.
KP might be dead here, actually. There's the Phoenix nearby to at least give the Fire Spirits. We still have 2 Blink Strikes, though. There's the first, the magic damage. Very, very meager, though. And actually, UK in some trouble here, fighting versus Tim's, able to get off that damage with his great base attack time, of course, and the Fortune's End netting them a kill. This is going great for AG.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of the kills they were hoping for. They're taking advantage of the kill potential they have early, and it doesn't seem like TNC is responding properly. However, it is true that early game, the kills don't matter as much, and you can recover as long as you pick it up in the mid game. But for now, it's really good for AG. As long as you can get the last hits to go with this stuff.
Yeah, that's the important part, right? Because you are going to be versus a TB. TB not under too much pressure naturally, as he always has the meta available straight away to dominate the first the first wave of experience. So he's sets himself up nicely. But AG, they're doing the right things. They're sending the Marana over to rotate, ruining the jungle here already for our mid lane Bat Rider, who generally does need these stacks to get ahead, get a fast Boots of Travel maybe, get that Blink Dagger, maybe even the drums in between the two. So it's going to be a bit difficult for him as the Marana is just rotating through, making his life a living hell here eventually, as he's going to come into his jungle with no big creeps in any of the camps.
As it stands right now, though, despite the kills early, you're still not seeing too much of a lead for AG, and this is partially because the bottom lane is going nicely for TNC. They've bothered the Riki enough. They bothered Riki enough, who's fallen behind the Terror Blade in terms of farm. But it's to be expected, right? We said it, there's no good lane for the Riki. He's going to struggle a bit in the early. He's waiting for that level 6 to start being more relevant. That was not a great Slithering Crush, and KP could be in trouble. Never mind. It is Riki level 1, so, or pre-level 6, right? So who cares?
Yeah, honestly. You're not that scared of him yet.
No, it's really only with the Grimstroke that I think you actually do have some kill potential. Besides that, with a Oracle, you can charge up the Fortune's End, and it's kind of decent, but it's not good enough to kill a tanky hero like Slardar.
Yeah, I think Riki, this is actually a pretty powerful lane because you can always pre-channel Fortune's End onto the Riki, and then as it's traveling over, Riki can blink strike to the target, Fortune's End dispels him, but most importantly roots the surrounding enemies for him, and then you go into the tricks of the trade, and then more blink strikes to follow up. It's a pretty nifty combo that really Slardar can't do anything about, or really barely any heroes can do anything about. What are you going to do about him just blink striking on you? But it's not that strong yet, like you're saying, until Riki hits that level 6. But after that, this lane actually has some pretty serious kill potential, not to mention all the magic damage that Oracle's going to be doing, as they will be TPing mid lane among Daya. Nice route there to purge off the 6 stacks of the Napalm. But I think Armel is just going to be out of here.
Armel surviving for now. They almost tried to arrow him. Yeah.
That's a good effort.
I mean, there are 3 heroes mid, so as far as Armel's concerned, this is a win. Like, you're still beating him in last hits and denies, and you are currently forcing so many rotations, which essentially sacks your other 2 lanes, right? Not too great for you.
No. Yeah, and this TB is completely I almost used a Spanish word. He's completely unbothered whatsoever here. Again. What? Unmolested. Alright, which has a different meaning.
That is not a word in Spanish.
Well, it's molestado, right?
It's okay. It's all right, Vic. It's all right.
Well, I mean, that's what it translates to.
It does. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Give me a break here.
I'm not giving you a break, son. No, I'm not giving passes anymore.
No passes.
No passes in
no
this stream.
passes on this stream. That's exactly right here. But DB, like, to your credit, he's had to completely change the way he plays in this lane when the Oracle's not here, because he's just no matchup for a 1v1 versus KP. At least now at the 5-minute mark, KP's gonna go pull some creep waves, do some shenanigans here, and I mean, the win here for DB is that he's actually playing this lane quite nicely. He's pulling the creep aggro on like he's maintaining control as best as he can, right? He's pulling creep aggro with the mid lane. Hold that thought. Actually, Armel might be dead if they can land the arrow, but he puts himself in between all the creep. Nice sleep though out from Lim. Among Daya though, stunned up by the match. 6 stacks though. We need that Oracle to actually hit him with that Fortune's End dispel, but unfortunately he just melts there to the Firefly. It actually
took way too long to do that. Actually, he should have done it immediately.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately they needed the Fortune's End to actually set up for the arrow. So they used it aggressively for the kill, which I think is better, to be honest, that they do it for the kill rather than save the life of Mag. Because if they both live, then Armel's like, all right, whatever, I'm going to go farm some stacks. But now he's dead, right? And so is Magnus. But Magnus is going to be able to eventually, given equal farm later on in the game, going to be more useful than the Batrider, especially with the Oracle.
That's true. But it is true also that you are, by doing this again, forcing a lot of rotations there and giving a lot of freedom to the side lanes.
Yes.
And you're kind of hoping that your carries will just make up for this later.
There we go.
In trouble. The tricks of the trade is forced. They
so
just kick him out of the lane.
Yeah, but he's getting solo XP here, right? So TNC, they're doing well. They're stopping his farm. And most importantly, again, Gabby is just free farming. 40 and 14. This is amazing, isn't it? Yep. I mean, look at Armel. Armel's even got 20 denies here in the mid lane. What? Is this Dendi? Just denying everything?
Yeah, I don't know. Armel is kind of crazy. I mean, with a Batrider, it's so easy to kick out with the Magnus, so I don't think it's that big a deal. Also, it's definitely not Dendi right now, but Armel's going to go for the Boots of Travel as his first item, which I kind of like as the Batrider. I don't know if he's going to take the 2 position as he usually does, or he can kind of fade into the background and let KP be more protagonist. Because I know that TNC, at least back when in the heyday when they were like the best team in the world, that's one of the strengths they had, right? They actually could swap around their cores very often, and they would play 2, 3, 4, doesn't really matter, right? Depending on what the game needed. And this game, Batrider can very well kick off his farm, get the basic items, you know, the travel and the blink, and then let the carry be, or the secondary carry be KP as opposed to the Batrider. And that would really screw over Army Genius's plan, because they're concentrating on this lane a lot, but they're not really doing anything to Terrorblade or to Slardar.
Yeah, most definitely. And of course, we keep harping back to this TV because he's one of these heroes where if he goes unchecked, he ends up, coming at you 25 minutes later in the game with like a Scotty, BKB, Manta style. And you're like, where did this farm come from? How do we deal with it now? Because I think the draft here inherently with Riki is not well suited to deal with illusions, and not only that, but a high armor hero such as the TB. So something to just keep in mind.
Yep.
It's only the elephant in the room right now.
I agree. I don't know how you're going to really stop the TV's farm because you don't have the best people at invading his jungle. Because as I mentioned earlier, Ricky is not really that great against a Terrorblade. You don't deal that much damage into the ridiculous amount of armor that Terrorblade has, right? So it kind of has to be Sanking with the Magnus to do this, and you have good ways to stop them from initiating.
Yeah, because the problem is, I mean, Riki, once he gets Diffusal, maybe, but it's going to be maybe another 7 minutes until he gets that. CSing just okay, to be honest. Like, he's not doing that bad for as poor as this matchup is, which is a big win for him. But now there's level 69 KP, so it becomes a little bit more difficult all of a sudden. As Oracle will rotate top. Already in the jungle, though, is Gabby. He's going to be going for just the Dragon Lance into Manta, which is going to be a very good build for him. But top lane, Tim's, he's okay. He's got the Icarus dive away. I mean, and another problem is we just have like really good casual saves for the side of TNC, right? Whitemon, if he's anywhere nearby, just can, even with a level 1 range swap, he can very easily save Gabby or basically anyone from what AG currently have to deal with them. So it's going to be hard, like you said, to actually invade the jungle. And DB rotating over to the mid lane, he doesn't want to have to deal with this Vengeful Spirit. Instead, maybe trying to deal with Armel, which I'm not sure if he's going to like that much more. But Armel doesn't have Lasso yet, which means that this damage is coming out from the Fireflies a lot more than maybe DB's prepared to deal with at this point in the game. So he's smart to back off. Underneath the tier 1, what's going on down bottom? Cam is going to show up and do some tower pushing here. And again, just nothing to really pressure him. Sand King is rotating down here, but he couldn't really deal with him top, and you cannot deal with him now. He does have the full Veil of Discord, but he's gone here for the Sandstorm build, and it's unrealistic to just kill him with Sandstorm alone without an Epicenter.
Yeah.
And a +1.
Exactly. Like, you're also going in there without knowing who else is nearby, right? Because if the Terrorblade is pushing, he's definitely not alone. They're not going to leave their carry alone there. So it was the right play, though. I think he was wasting a bunch of time just kind of being in this dead lane for no reason, because he wasn't actually pushing it either. So whatever. Just small misplays, which is what we're talking about for RBGs, right? They do seem very often like there's no rhyme or reason to certain of their moves, and just getting punished by better teams like TNC, for example.
Yes.
That's going to be punished.
I'm really looking forward to see how TNC adjust, if at all, after their loss yesterday, right? As we see a D ward here. This is going to be a kill onto UK. Maybe not. They're looking to turn. Nice arrow onto the Vengeful Spirit as Lim will jump on in, but the lasso now onto 1. We'll get the kill, though. Now DB jumping in, joining the fight as Potom leaping away. We'll stay alive for now as Armel looking to TP. We've got a burrow in 1 second, but it's just going to be a second late as Armel off to safety. They trade position 5s for position 5s. About a 50-50 trade there.
Interesting that he didn't put him in the high ground. I guess he kind of realized, like, oh, I just got a Mirana who has leap, so who cares? Like, I really can't do much against her. And Armel, it seems like he panicked. It was like, I realized I made the mistake, because there's just no way you're killing the Mirana afterwards. You were really deep into the enemy jungle anyway. It's not quite your territory. But it's also true that TNC is surprised by Army Genius's unorthodox way of playing, because usually you don't defend your jungle this early in the game. Once you lost tier 1, you just kind of swap and you go into the enemy jungle instead. But they're not doing that.
I think that's kind of actually working out in favor of AG, because the Bat Rider he does well, obviously, 1v1s. He's very frequently banned for this very reason, because you could just dominate a mid lane, as he basically did versus the Magnus, right? So it's nice that they're actually doing a great job of defending it, because he's just got boots of travel here, right? So he's very fast and, again, dominates 1v1s, but as soon as there's more heroes there, he's actually not that strong here. So they do well there, in my opinion, to actually defend it. He's going for Lim, doesn't have the lasso, just going to be forcing the leap charges away. But again, there's more heroes here that he's maybe not expecting, as the smoke gang will now be revealed. No epicenter, so it's a bit of actually an easy kill.
Very easy kill. Armel gets destroyed here. And, well, me just takes advantage of this, honestly. Taking the mid laner down really easily. They keep dominating this bottom lane, which, again, most teams don't do. But, as you mentioned, it's working out for them. There's actually a technique used a lot in CIS. Actually, a lot of CIS teams do this, where they will play the opposite of what's expected of them in the space game, especially with smokes and stuff like that, to surprise the enemy team and get some unorthodox ganks. And it's kind of working out for Army Genuises. Yeah.
Armel was really confident because of this fresh ward playstand that didn't scout anybody. Whitemon is patrolling here. He's using the patrol hotkey. Looks like a marine that you just have going back and forth in StarCraft, just to make sure that Gabby's safe and sound while he continues to farm. But again, the elephant in the room, Gabby is still well clear of the Magnus in terms of net worth. Dragonlance ready to go. Already has a point in the Sunder, so he's even a little bit more survivable than you might think. Just bringing it up for now. We'll see where he's at in a few minutes.
There's almost an Atos on Tim's, by the way. This build is quite interesting. He's not going to go to lock it this game. So Atos to stop the Riki from blinking around and tricks to the trading. Not bad. I guess
it's actually really value this game now that I think about it, right? Because 4 heroes have movement-based. Oh my God, English. 4 heroes have movement builds. 4 heroes have movement-based abilities, right? Skewer, it'll stop. It'll stop Sand King. It'll stop Mirana. It'll stop Riki.
The problem though is that 2 of these heroes, Sand King and Riki, can easily avoid it with Tricks of the Trade or Sandstorm. So I don't know how value that is.
That's fair. That's fair. I think it still has its use.
Even going invisible can be a way to stop it on Riki. But yeah, I agree. It's not bad, especially against the other 2. It's not like you can. It's not like Holy Locket is that great this game, nor is what other Spirit Vessel. Neither of them are that good.
Yeah, I mean, I think Holy Locket is good normally if you're going to be going for a bit longer of fights early on. But I think TNC are not really interested. I think they're more looking for hit and runs, right? Because right now Venge is going to be super strong right now. 2-1-2 build here on the Vengeful Spirit, interestingly enough. So not really maxing anything first. But either way, this is a big power spike for the Venge because early on, that distance is just massive. You pair that already with Armel, a little bit of extra damage, maybe even from Tim, or KP rather, on the Slardar, and then those are easy kills here. Nice job there, dodging out the smoke gank. Armel, again, just with Boots of Travel, is not going to be able to catch up here and net himself any kills. So AG are doing really well to just deny Armel of any free kills.
Yeah, Armel is not really having the best game because the AG staff, or the AG squad, is not really letting anyone be alone, which is good. Like, the positioning is quite on point. But when you do this, though, the issue is that you are lessening the rate of farm, right? Terrorblade will be able to out-farm you if they just keep playing defensive. So while this is the best way to deny Armel's like space creation, it's also going to be Gabby just out-farming you in the end, right? Though Armel is taking a lot of the safe farm for Gabby, which is surprising. He needs that blink dagger.
He just needs the blink. And again, this is normally not an issue if he's able to find a few kills here and there, right? But AG, because of their playstyle, they're not letting that happen. In the meantime, though, let's bring up the elephants, the smaller elephant, albeit, in the room here for TNC, which is going to be this Magnus. Mangdaya has recovered and farmed quite nicely. Now they just got the Echo Saber. His farm is going to explode.
Nice
KP?
He is going to be able to make it out for now. The sprint, careful. AP, there we go. Lasso, Armel, bring him down to the tower. They have amplified damage as well, and they have to dispel it. KP will die to a single shot from the Mirana. Now it's Armel just trying to find DP, kill him Mirana as well. They destroy UK first. DP, they get an RP to give him some more space, and he actually healed back up. Instead, it's Armel who's going to fall as the second core to die for TNC. That is not too great for TNC. They hope to turn this around, but the Oracle ultimate was a bit too good. And Gabby is coming in here. Wami's nearby in the trees. There's an epicenter still ready with a Veil of Discord. Not yet. I think they can counter-initiate this.
They can try, but he's a bit scary still with the Metamorphosis active. My goodness, I always forget that Riki just has like 7 HP regen,
great
right? So all that's going to be doubled. Of course, you always max Purifying Flame, so that's always going to be value. Really great stun there, the Burrow Shark onto 1, but it doesn't matter. DB actually jumping in and murdering the Vengeful Spirit. As look at this, in trouble. It's going to be Gabby. Wow, AG.
They were really not expecting AG to, I guess, commit to that, which is why they kept pushing. I thought they were stronger than they were. I mean, they killed the Sand King, congratulations, but you were still dealing with the rest of the team, right? And they had enough strength. I mean, maybe they took it too much at face value when we said really can't do anything against Terrorblade. He does deal damage.
Yeah, he's got damage early on, especially because, hey, guess what? You are up against the Diffuser Blade. And look at this, even Armel might be dead here. He doesn't have Lasso, and he can't blink. Oh, no, that's exactly the opposite of what Armel needs to be. Or rather, how he should be playing on the Batrider, right? Batrider's normally, that's what he does.
You're trying to create space, but it's not really working out for you because Riki just is too easy for him to decimate you. Yeah. And what are you going to do? Like, Armel's only tool to escape is literally movement speed, but the Diffusal Blade stops that.
Yeah. And by the way, great RP by Mangdaya there.
Yes.
Really good stuff. I mean, they're playing this really well. And we're about to have a blink on Sand King, so they can actually go again. There's no epicenter in that fight, of course, because he was the one dying, but he completely denies Tim's from getting off a well-placed Supernova, and from there, the fight's really easy.
They seem to just be underestimating a bit of the team fight that AG can bring to the table, right? Like, they do have a really good 5-on-5. Right, well. Now, 1-me. This is a good kill. Important. And the Oracle really tried, though. UK was like, oh, no, guys, I'm sorry. It was a joke. I didn't mean to do that. Please don't jump on me. And he gets away.
That's okay. They respect it. They don't have vision on the Magnus. They know he's somewhere nearby with RP coming off cooldown momentarily. So they knew that was a big mistake to continue chasing. Very good restraint out from TNC there. Yeah, unfortunately, just the cast range, right? Oracle, unfortunately, really needs that 15 talents to really shine on that cast range. Maybe even an Aether Lens it can be extremely of use to him. But yeah, for that, rather, Womi's going to end up dying as Oracle still lives, but makes a valiant effort to try and save his ally.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it's only a Sankin that you got, right? Which committed still 2 of your cores to fight him, so it wasn't that big a deal. At least you're creating space for Gabby, who's going to just farm out of control. And the goal here is just playing around Gabby and hope that he carries your game for you. There's not really much else to be done.
I mean, it's only 1 death onto him, right? But it does severely slow him down, because that was a death during Metamorphosis. They didn't get that tier 1 tower. They lost way more heroes than just him, too, so... But, you know, he's still quite farmed. It will allow this Magnus, though, to actually overcome him now, or overtake him, rather, in farm, as he is closing in on the BKB. Maybe looking like he's ready to tussle that with the Blink Dagger. This could be a kill now on the Malone Dia, but they're ready. UK off in the trees, land on the counter initiation. Up from Mumi's going to catch 1. Oh, the great swap, though, will catch Gabby.
What an
Look
RP!
at that, the RP catching 2. Careful, this Supernova's about to burst, but they actually managed to nuke through Gabby before, so that stun connecting onto 2, but it's not going to matter. Gabby's still dead, and Womi's still looking for more now as KP, no more slither, or no more sprints. He gets the cross shot, but will die immediately after. AG! The counter initiations here onto TNC are just pitch perfect.
Well, okay, that's not too great for TNC, but honestly, Mamang Dai is playing out of his mind. That was a 3-man RP, right?
Yep.
You're constantly resetting those team fights. Yeah, the Supernova was good by Tims, but they're just not doing anything after it, right? And if they kill you terribly by the time the Supernova ends, then who cares, right? So really well played here by AG, taking advantage of their faster tempo, and now going for a Roshan immediately. Thank you for the arrow, they say. Oh, never mind, that's their own team.
They do say thank you for the arrow.
Yeah, because that's their own team, and I'm an idiot. And they're trying to take the Roshan quickly. Murana actually sees 3 TPs, LYM, nice little scouting there. Gonna set up an arrow as well to stop whatever initiation they have. The Roshan's about to fall, who's gonna take it earlier. Is the batter going in, but the Age is already in Ricky's hands. And even Smokescreen, so Armel couldn't get their lasso off.
Yeah,
they want to go up to the high ground, but it's a bit dangerous. They don't have RP. They stop the Ricky. They stop the Sanking as well. They do have a Power Strike. Tim's in trouble, and he's going to play the scapegoat game as he lets the rest of his team flee.
Yep. I managed to get him there as they skied him. Hit him nicely and done. Okay, another great fight. Good job by TNC. I mean, it's a good effort to contest the Roshan, but it's just going to fall a bit too quick there to AG. And now there's an Aegis here on our Rikimaru. He's just about to overtake Gabby in terms of farm as he's going to get baited by the illusion. But we do still know Manta, but going straight for BKB is Gabby. I think this is a very wise decision here for him this game.
Let's see why one. Oh, what an arrow! What an arrow! Skewered to go. LYM. Wow. What a play. Just, I mean, there was no setup for that whatsoever. I mean, you can even take the tower up top. They are forced to use the glyph. Not bad, actually. Ricky continues to farm. And you're not really needing to hunt the terribly because you're just killing everyone else and reducing his space to farm anyway.
Ricky wants to make sure he gets that arcane renewed. Nope, not allowing the TB illusions to deny it. What is...
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Sorry, I don't know. Twitch chat just memeing about this network.
Well, the point is that you are actually not the best observer because you're not showing me that network.
Hold that. Now Armel in trouble. They might get the kill onto him, but they're going to break vision. DB, though, with the tricks of the trade, finishing that one off. Does have Aegis. Great dive forward by Tim, so he's going to actually connect onto 2, but magic damage there being stopped by the Fate's Edict. Yeah, what is it? CS? Everyone wants to see net graph 3 or something here.
No, I want to see the network. Like, what's the ping of the TNC players? What server are they playing?
What's the ping?
Yeah, seriously.
Let me just full screen my Chrome tab and show you guys my speedtest.net results here real quick.
That's exactly what I want to watch. I'm not here to watch this Dota game.
No, it's a good meme, guys. I like it.
It's somewhat wholesome, somewhat offensive.
There we go. We'll take it.
Manta style to TB is going to be completed now, so he has a secondary dispel on top of the Oracle. Not so dependent on Oracle. Quite great. And the Terrorblade, let's see, to the Ricky, sorry, not the, DB TV. To the Ricky, he gets the Manta style, and Terrorblade is going for the BKB, which is what he needs actually to be able to fight these fights, because even then, though, Magnus can still catch you, though.
Yeah.
Magnus has been the bane of your existence for now.
We still have plenty of damage as well if Ricky can position himself properly, too. Yeah. It's, I mean, it's not free. It's way more difficult, which you definitely need as Gabby. You're going to take that, but oof. It's going to be looking hard. And then, again, just AG keeping the pressure up 5K here at the 21-minute mark. Smoke up, looking to go into the enemy jungle. Whitemon positioned again quite nicely here to break smokes, but Gabby, oh no, Tim's in trouble. Oh, RP just committed there, but that's a kill. Maybe a bit overkill, but was hoping for at least a +1. You'll take that.
It's a simple kill. I mean, one of the enemy teamfight heroes, so it's kind of worth it every time you do that.
Yeah, better to just use RP rather than just always look for the perfect one, right?
Yep.
DB is going to get a free kill onto Whitemon, however. Still has the Aegis ready. There's no detection in between the tier 2, tier 3 towers, which sometimes you see, you know, a lot of supports will kind of generally recognize that the Riki's always going to be looking for picks there, and that's a good way to counterplay him there. You know, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, oh, March would have warded it, but, you know, March is really good with his detection, so maybe that's a little
you are saying that.
I mean, maybe
you are saying that. I mean, if you can flame, at least.
I mean, okay. You know what? I'll back it up with evidence then. Remember the Among Us fight here where they fought while we're paused right here on the map and they were able to turn after Cuckoo
and they had a ward over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true actually.
I'm just backing it up with evidence. But I mean, again, it's Riki. It's Riki doing Riki things. He's gonna be aggressive. He's gonna get a free kill on the supports every now and then. That's just kind of what the hero does. And unfortunately, Whitemon is gonna take a death there.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Well, that's now a pretty decent lead. Sizable lead for Army Geniuses. Magnus is really farmed, by the way. I was expecting a much worse lane, but the supports that came into the middle lane really enabled Magnus's game. So well played, honestly, from early to mid game for Army Geniuses. And this time they have a much more clear plan to close the game. So I think this game is looking good for them. Moonlight Shadow, Riki is now undetectable.
Again?
Yeah, because double invisibility, of course. Tim's, they're gonna go for him. Nice skewer, swapping it. They swap actually the Magnus. He has no RP, he has a BKB though, starts hitting the egg. They're gonna destroy the Supernova, they do. And the silence, the smoke screen stops KP from actually getting Slithering Crush off. Really good preemptive smoke screen. But now with the epicenter, they counter-initiate here. A second counter-initiation with a Shock as well. Killing the Slaughter, turning him into a Flatfish with Riki fighting the Batrider alone. He still conserves the Aegis, but he's losing all of his HP. And Oracle says, live, my son, live while I may die. DB will survive. Womi will not be so lucky. Or maybe, yes, the Bro Shock actually disjoints everything, and Riki instead finds the kill on the Phoenix. Still looking for more.
There it is.
Aegis will heal him back up, which means he can continue to fight now, as he now sees the Batrider. Where you going, Armel? Back to the grave you go.
Wow. Great fight there. At first, I was like, oh, maybe he shouldn't have graved the Riki there, but it wouldn't have mattered. Oracle was still going to die no matter what, and in the end, Riki still comes out full HP and mana. So I think you'd rather have him running around instead of dead for 5 seconds waiting to respawn. Great fight there. A good swap, I got to say, out from Whitemon. They actually nearly took that fight, but DB just with the AoE denial with the smoke, making that kind of impossible for them to properly re-engage. There's no BKB on KP yet, which means he can't just kind of BKB blink in and actually crush through the smoke. Maybe then that fight goes a little bit differently, but unfortunately he's just not had the kills here. 1, 4, and 3 on him, and his farm actually just about to be overtaken rather by the Mirana. So it's not because he can't farm, he just needs to give the farm to Gabby is the problem, and Armel.
Yep. We're gonna see right now if TNC can turn this around with a better team fight. Because until now, I think most of their team fights have been thwarted by DB putting a really good, clever smoke screen, stopping either the Supernova or the Lasso or the Slithering Crush. I mean, we've seen Slithering Crush and Lasso being cancelled in the last two. Right? Very impressive smoke screens, and that's the power. It's one of two preemptive one of two preemptive silences. Depends on what you consider Night Stalkers. With a Static Storm.
Sorry, I was just laughing. Someone in chat with the delay says, meh, I've hit better arrows. Yeah, how much money have you hit won with your arrows? Yeah. I always love that.
I know, you don't know how much money he's won unless you put the network, friend.
Nah, I need to put the network as DB getting a free kill there. That shows me for reading chat, so I'm going to go ahead and close that now.
Yeah, stop reading it. You're the observer.
Alright, see you later, chat.
Unprofessional. Oh, we're actually seeing Magnus Ags this game. He's gone for Assault Grass first, but then now styling the Ags, which, in case people forgot, what it does, it lowers the cooldown of Skewer and the cast point, the mana cost, so it becomes much easier to skewer people. And you can pretty much spam it, but it does lower the mana cost only to 40. So
it's no longer as broken as it used to be. The Dota 2 front page used to be filled with people just skewering teams across the entire map into the fountain. You can't do that anymore. Not at least without like Octarine or whatever. What is it? One of the tier 4s. Oh, hold on. I think DB. Actually, it's Womi. Soul Prism, yes, but I think Slardr's in some trouble. We don't have another Burrow Strike, but they're doing a good job of holding him back. Yep, there's the Yule Scepter. Out
a very
from
hopeful
Limb into Arrow, and KP is dead.
Very, very hopeful TP. I thought that nobody would TP to the tier 1, right?
I mean, you might as well, right? The TP is going to be basically back off cooldown by the time you respawn. But yeah, might as well have hoped for it, right?
Yeah. It's not looking good for now, as now the
Armel.
Skewer showcasing how strong the Shockwave is. Armel again cancelled. This battle has not had the impact he was looking for this game,
No,
honestly, at all.
Not at all. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, I think, with the Diffusal comment, right? It was just his Diffusal Blade is slowing him to a crawl, even with the active Gabby looking for farm wherever he can find it, but he's been scouted here by the ward. He's in some serious trouble. He needs to BKB TP, but I think we have actually the RP ready for him there. So Among Daya looking to fight RP at the ready, and there we go. Gabby, again, another hopeful TP. He's already used the Sunder, and now he is dead. 9-second BKB charge utilized there, and look at that, they're even still getting kills. A good effort by Whiteman, knowing that maybe now I can go for the D ward now that they've rotated away, but nope, there's still Womi to deal with there. I got a kill onto Gabby again. It's just kind of been the story of this game. AG finding kills left, right, and center out of them. Oh, okay, there it is. When we finally getting a little bit too overzealous. I think he should be dying here. The arrow will at least put them off him for a second. He's going to land a 2-man Burrow Strike, though. And look at this. DB actually now joining the fight as Wumi invis. They don't have detection, but he will eventually tick down to the damage regardless. KP is going to be forced to continue running away, cannot defend his base. And that's going to be the first tier 3 tower down here, Avo.
Yeah, and I think the Cataracts as well. That's a double damage Ricky. Let's
yeah.
not forget Ricky only builds stats, which is why abilities like double damage or empower are so good on him, because he actually has a huge base damage. I mean, that's not true. He doesn't only build stats, but he mainly builds agility. And that's why the empower combo is also powerful, not just because of the cleave, but just because of how much extra damage it gives you.
Of course.
And now they're going to be able to take 2 sets of Rex for free, and I don't know if TNC can defend the third one. I mean, we've seen AG before. They don't care. They might go for a third one. All right, no, they're going to play safe.
We have seen AG before, but this is really impressive out from AG.
Yeah, they're playing really well. They're playing a really, really good game. It seems like they finally found their own. Stop with the last track shenanigans and the weird builds. They just went for a consistent draft, and it's working for them, right?
Yeah, and you know, they even have the Morana Lotus this game, so they're building the right items. Lotus interaction is a bit weird. I know you always like explaining the Lotus bug, or interaction rather, with Sunder.
Oh, yes. I do love it. So for people that don't know, the Lotus is not the greatest counter to Sunder, because when you Lotus, if you are on really low HP, there's always a threshold, which is the minimum HP swap, right? So say Terrablade's on like 10% HP, even if you Lotus him, he'll go up to 25% because of the nature of the Sunder, no matter what. So there's never going to be, it's not really that good of a counter. Lincoln's is much better against Terrorblade.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Right,
you always go at least in for your HP to the minimum threshold. Yes, you stop the enemy, like him, from like changing your HP, which is good, but you're still healing, which is what Terrorblade looks for most of the time.
Oops, well, we missed the burrow. They got teams, they got bodies here ready to fight here, as well as actually finally some D-wards ready to go. But AG, they're playing it patiently, although I say that, they have now kidnapped Gabby all the way across. RP is ready, but they're just going to pop the BKB as KP. Nice job there, canceling the epicenter. Womi is going to follow up with a stun, and now DB to follow up on top of that. Great supernova back onto the high ground, but it's already, I mean, it doesn't all matter already here. Where's DB? I've lost.
Now they still have the RP. They still have the RP to fight. They lost the Gabby BKB. They can go in. There we go, RP. Okay,
whoops.
misses absolutely everybody. It's okay, don't worry, we don't need it. It was just for show. The Skewer is the real RP, and he takes down Whitemon, goes for Armel as well. They're ignoring the Terrorblade because they just want to kill his friends, and now it's time for you to die, Gabby. Silenced up, pummeled, and killed.
Wow, that's a team wipe. They didn't lose anyone.
GG.
GG? Yeah, GG.
I mean, if they bash you like that, that makes perfect sense. The disconnects come immediately. Honestly, AG, what a game. Particularly to me, everyone played incredibly, but Mamang Daya stands out as the MVP, even with the last RP.
Yeah. I mean, you know, RP schmarp, right? It's all about, at that point, once you have the Ags, it's more about the skewer. Well, that's not true, but still. Really excellent skewer.